Hello and welcome to SEO Podcast by SEOSLY, the best SEO podcast for professionals like you. I'm your host, Olga Zar, an SEO consultant, bringing you the latest developments, essential news, and experts' insights from around the SEO world. Tune in to stay up to date, learn actionable tips, and get ahead in this competitive landscape. My episodes include weekly recaps, interviews with other SEO experts, discussions on money in SEO, and so much more. I usually publish 2 episodes per week. Don't forget to subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, or your favorite podcasting app. Check out my website for show notes and sponsorship opportunities. If you like SEO Podcast by SEOSLY, I also invite you to rate it on Google Podcasts or on Apple Podcasts. Consider giving it 5 stars. I also invite you to become my super follower. You can support me on a monthly basis or you can simply buy me a coffee. You will find the link to becoming my super follower in the podcast notes. So let's dive into the world of SEO together. Hi everyone, it's Olga Zar from SEOSLY. Welcome to SEO Podcast by SEOSLY. Today, my guest is Raf Chomsky. Am I pronouncing it correctly?
Yes, that's correct. Hello, everyone. Hi,
Awesome.
Olga.
Hi. So how are you doing, Rafał?
Not bad. Very busy, as
Mhm.
everyone in SEO these days, I think. Um, but I'm doing pretty well. Thanks.
Okay, cool. So as always, I would like to start with your SEO history, like SEO story. So tell me, when did you start? Like how many years have you been SEO and how did you start? This is like usually the most interesting part.
Do we have 2 hours?
Uh, just
'Cause
an hour. I will
Great.
cut this out, this out, or you can talk very fast. So.
No. I mean, yes, of course. Very quickly. I think I started as everyone. I mean, everyone I heard of by accident.
Yeah.
So um, yeah, the story goes back to around 2010. I was living permanently in the UK
Hmm.
back then, and I was looking for a change basically in my life, as I usually do every couple of years or so. Um, and then I just found an ad that they were looking for salespeople for a marketing team.
Hmm.
And since I had a bit of experience in sales, I was running my own businesses before, but in a completely different niche. I applied, and for unknown reasons, till today, they hired me. I have no idea why, because basically, when they would ask me what SEO is, because it was a marketing SEO agency kind of. When they asked what it is, I just said I don't know. I'm not gonna lie. I just don't know. And is there any
Maybe
money
for
to be made
your
in this to
honesty.
ask a question? Sorry.
Maybe they hired you for your honesty.
Maybe. I like to think they were kind of desperate.
Huh?
And yeah, I came with with a smile maybe, and that helped. And very quickly I learned what it is and how it helps businesses, and obviously SEO. um, 2010 was a lot easier
Yeah.
than it is today. It was all about links and some headings basically. That's all. So it's kind of easy to learn, kind of easy to explain to the clients. And I spent a year there, and just after that, I started my first agency, 2011, over there in the UK. We're helping small brands at first, and then bigger ones. And then I spent like another 2 3 years at the Search Initiative, Search Logistics, couple known agencies. A year and a half ago, I've launched 2 new projects with my co-founder, my friend Rad Palushek, and
Yeah, we had Rat
we
on the show. Yeah.
yeah, I remember that was a great show, by the way.
Yeah.
I loved it. So yeah, we started Husky Hamster, which is a link building outreach agency, and we work in internationally. And we also started a non-agency, which is a technical SEO team. Um,
Hmm.
so yeah, it's been like a year and a half since we started running this. So that's my story in short.
Yeah, so this was quite short, and like, so you've been in SEO like 13 years or something. So what do
Is
you
it that
see? Like,
long?
am I counting it correctly? Yeah.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
what are the things that changed the most for you? Like how your the way you work evolved. Obviously, we had links back then, and maybe now I'm thinking maybe we are going to come back to links, like when everything becomes AI written and Google will have to look for other signals to count. So who knows? But like,
That's
what
my
are you? Yeah, yeah.
yeah, that's my theory too.
Uh
Like we
huh.
go in circles in history, in life, and in business as well.
Yeah.
And it was all about links when I started, and it's going to be a lot about links now when Google is bombarded, not only Google, but mainly bombarded with new content written by AI, also in many verticals. So I think Google will definitely need to pay more attention to links than it did in past 4 or 5 years. That's what I'm assuming. When it's obviously quite difficult
Yeah.
to say for sure what's going to happen. How it evolved? Well, it was definitely an evolution, from very little understanding as well, and selling and providing then a very simple service, what SEO was. It was really simplistic, I'd say. We evolved, and I evolved with with SEO really. So every single year I've learned a lot more, and the projects are getting more and more complex. So what is happening is that I definitely need to spend a lot more time analyzing the project, the results, and calculating the ROI on SEO and other things than before. Because again,
Yeah.
13 years ago, it was very simple. You had a lot of clicks from position number one, no rich snippets, no rich panels, with
Yeah.
just a
Just
few
send
ads maybe.
send the links. Yeah.
Yeah, so it was a lot easier. But I think if SEO were to stay in 2010, um, if it wasn't an evolution in SEO, I think I would bore to death, and I wouldn't just bother being in SEO. So I'm kind of happy it's evolving, it's moving forward. And as I said before we jump on a call, that I kind of love that we need to keep learning faster than anyone else. So there is new thing behind every corner, and to spend time learning and then putting this into action as well.
Yeah, totally. So when I was starting out, it was like similar, just links, and like everything I did was so, I would say, mindless. Like I didn't really have to put a lot of thought in what I was doing. And I noticed that it started to change, like I would say 7 years ago, maybe, like in a more important way, that more and more analysis, more and more thought, more and more strategy had to be put into everything I was doing. And now I am like learning constantly, like all the time, and I still feel that there is still so much to learn, so many things to keep up. Even when I write my newsletter from week to week, there is so many things to report on that it takes me like the entire day to write the newsletter, and I still am not able to read cover to cover everything that I am reporting on. So that's what quite challenging, but that's also something that makes SEO so interesting, right?
Yes, indeed, indeed. Yeah, but it's at the same time a bit scary, like,
Yeah, yeah, it
because
is.
there
It is.
there are more data being in Google, in internet every day, and now with the AIs, even more of that. Like the acceleration of the data input must be, I mean, billion times more than it
Yeah,
was 5 years ago. So then SEO is becoming more and more tricky. And I can see that firsthand when talking to some of our investors and clients about the projects. When the project is starting from the ground up,
uh-huh.
the ROI horizon is like 2 years usually in many niches, if even possible, really.
Yeah,
A lot of data points and analysis need to go in SEO to even establish whether this is worth doing or not. Because also coming from the position very unpopular in SEO niche in general, agencies and so on. That I don't think SEO is for everyone, and I don't think that everyone should invest tens or hundreds of thousands of dollars in SEO
Yeah,
at the moment.
totally. Totally. And what's an example of the situation where you wouldn't recommend spending money on SEO?
Well, um, obviously, every single project depends
Yeah.
on its foundations and goals. But if I were to generalize, I'd say, for example, spending, I don't know, $200,000 on CBD
Uh-huh.
project, starting from the ground up, from real bottom, um, might not justify the return of investment at this stage. I mean, the market is so saturated that I'm not saying that you're not supposed to be doing SEO at all in general, but by SEO I understand content, brand positioning, user experience, and other things on site and off site, including PR. But you might need to think beyond SEO because SEO might not be the best option for you at this stage. The same goes for some B2B services.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, when you have a service that is, I don't know, selling, it's manufacturing something, and you're
Uh-huh.
trying to find clients, for example, from Poland to Germany or from
Uh-huh.
Poland to Netherlands. um, SEO might help you to lift up. So, for example, the campaign should be maybe 3 months long because what you need is just optimized website, fast website, good landing pages, A/B testing, a bunch of PR links because you're starting up on a new market, but then ads because you won't be able to generate B2B leads from organic search very quickly. So again, everything depends on the strategy you have. I mean, the ideal situation would be you have money for everything
Yeah.
and you can run in every vertical. But the reality, economical reality these days is it's usually not possible. So I think SEO is still probably the best source of traffic for many niches, but I don't think that is the best
Or,
source of
or,
traffic for all.
yeah, that's a very interesting insight. So before
Thanks.
I continue interrogating you, like we touched upon SEO and AI a little bit, so can you tell me what are your thoughts about the current situation? So last week we had Google I/O. Everyone is panicking that SEOs are going to lose their jobs, that our websites, our clients' websites won't be getting any clicks from Google because now everything is barred and everything is being chat. So what's your point of view on that?
Well, how many times I've heard that it's all
SEO is
going to
dead.
hell. This is the end of the world. Oh, I remember 2013,
Yeah.
and when many of our clients lost their positions because we were very heavy on links, and Google didn't like it very much on, I think it was October 11th,
Yeah.
if I'm
I
not
think so.
mistaken, on Friday or Sunday. And yeah, I think every SEO that is in a niche for over 10 years remembers that day. you know
Yeah, I do. I
uh,
also lost a lot of traffic.
yeah, where's my money now? Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, well, and then I've heard this is the end of SEO. Rafał, this is the end of SEO.
Yeah.
It's all going to hell, right? And I was like, probably, but probably not. You just don't know. And understanding how other marketing tools like social media is evolving, then I was kind of on a positive side, saying, no, I mean, Google needs to fight spam. Google needs to fight poor content. Google needs to fight uh, people that not playing by the rule, and because otherwise it will lose users. So it
Yeah.
was kind of natural. Obviously, I had to have a couple of drinks after that, but then I started realizing that okay, that's what's gonna be. Google's gonna play with us anyway.
Yeah.
And then every year, every 2 years or so, it was something like that. I remember Rank Brain,
Yeah.
2016, I think. Um, yeah, it was also a panic. Oh my God, the NLP is gonna kill us. How are we gonna revise all that content? How are we gonna write for entities? And it was just the beginning of it. And then we obviously had Bird, and we had MAM, and we had so on, so on. And in the meantime, we also had, heart attack every 3 to 6 months because of the new snippet knowledge bundle. It's just like, no, I mean, this is an evolution, and it's happening, so we need to adjust. That's my understanding, and I'm very far from panicking,
That's
to be
good.
to be honest. um I might be a little bit concerned, because I just don't know how is it going to play it out, right? But knowing Google, knowing their presentations are being made mainly to make some money, right? I think it's going to take some time, take some errors to implement certain things. So I think we as SEOs, we have plenty of time to learn. And I'm repeating myself over and over again, saying, hey, if you're a content writer, editor, or an SEO, it doesn't matter how many years you are in the market, on the market, learn AI as quickly as you can. Try to use it as a leverage for your
Yeah.
skills and for your hourly rates as well. Because what is happening right now is obviously a revolution into the evolution, I'd say. So yes, AI is accelerating. We don't really know what's happening behind the scenes, and how those big brands going to fight each other. But let's focus on what we know. Let's focus on what we can learn and how we can use that for our clients. And there is plenty of ways we can use AI for our clients. Plenty of ways,
Yeah.
simplifying and shortening the time that we spend on analysis, on creating content that is useful. Because I I'm not sure if the data is super correct today, but last year it was like just over 90% of content in the internet does
It's
not get any
scam.
clicks. It's not getting
Oh,
any clicks,
yeah,
any visibility basically. And there's a reason behind it, right?
totally.
And I think the reason is this content is just poor quality. So from my own experience, maybe bottom line on this question, and my answer is, from our experience, revolution like that makes people start to think differently. And I love that, because we were doing certain things in certain way for such a long time, and we need to change that now. We have no choice. We need to change that. We need to start look at the content that we're producing. Does that content answers the question? Is this content relevant? Is it interlinked properly? Is it useful? Right? Is it useful?
Yeah.
Because I think many content writers, they're writing great content, but usability of the content is really poor.
Yeah, totally. And with writers, this is like similar. You can have a writer who writes very, very poor content, and you can have AI spin something irrelevant.
Mhm.
And I think when ChatGPT started to become like more popular, a ton of writers, my copywriter friends, were also like panicking very much that their job is dead. And now they kind of understand that it is not dead; it just changed. They will be doing
Mhm.
more editing. They will be playing with ChatGPT. Not necessarily that writers, editors won't be needed at all. And I think the same with SEOs, just as you said, I totally agree that panicking now is not necessarily something we should be doing, or giving up SEO because it's dead. Just we just have to like embrace SEO, embrace what's going on there, and learn, keep learning, and we should be fine. I hope so.
Yes, I mean, you never know, but this is the best we can do, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
totally,
there's
totally.
nothing good coming up from panicking at all. Yeah, but also, maybe a short message to someone who's not really into SEO, is not willing to learn and keep up. Let me tell you this: from now on, it's going to be only faster. So if you're not feeling for it, there's plenty of other things you can do. I mean, what's the point? If you're not feeling for it, I think SEO will
Totally.
become more and more complex, and it has many verticals. And basically, I like to say SEO is becoming a tool that's going to be driving the traffic beyond the website, beyond SEO. If you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying, you need to think about a brand and other verticals and a presence beyond search as well. So I think, and I hope, most of SEOs will develop into some kind of search marketers or marketers in general. And if you understand principles of SEO and you know how to put it in action and you understand AI and content, and then you know a little bit about the business analysis, then you are a complete package. And
Yeah,
people pay a lot for that kind of knowledge.
totally, totally. And regarding like building brand, having brand, like soon everything or like 90% of SERPs will be AI written, and the
Mhm.
other half will be written, or the other part will be written by websites who used AI. So basically everything will be AI written. And I think this is the chance for us to actually like pursue our personal brand, to kind of highlight our human element, human touch, human experience. And I think if we add that to the mix, this is something that will help us stand out and probably build a brand that doesn't only rely on traffic from Google, but you have the following that kind of follows you across different platforms like YouTube, Twitter, or Blue Sky, whatever. So that's, I think, something we'll have to also think about.
I couldn't agree more.
That's
Um,
awesome.
definitely, this is what's going to be happening. Obviously, the number of skills needed still unknown.
Yeah,
So we need to pay attention and learn and see what's happening. But I wanted to say one more thing for
sure.
anyone concerned. Mm, Look, if you are in SEO or in content writing for a while, and I'm not saying like you are a dinosaur as myself, a
Or
couple of
me.
years, uh, and you having troubles understanding what's happening, you having troubles understanding all the verticals, all the endpoints, and AI in general, and how it affects brands, how it affects visibility, and so on. Think about people that run businesses,
Yeah.
board members, CMOs, high level people. They have no clue what's happening. They have no clue what's happening. They want to hire you SAP. And obviously, bigger businesses are moving slower, which is fine. But if you leverage your skills and you're going to be on the market, they're going to need to hire you. They have no other choice. They will need to hire people to help them understand
Yeah, what's going on?
what's going on and how we can actually use that, right? How I can leverage that for my brand, these kind of questions. And one more thing to say about AI in general, we are being asked in our briefs by investors, what is our approach towards AI? And I'm asking some of my friends on a regular basis, like how they approach that when they receive such question. And very, very many non-agencies or agencies saying, we try to, avoid the topic. Like we have human writers. Um,
Oh,
they're gonna, emphasize that the content is human written and so on. And I'm taking a completely opposite approach. Like, hey,
me
we are
too.
expert in AI. I know AI. We've been working with the GPT-2. We've been working with the GPT-3. We've been working with this over nearly 3 years now. We know everything about it. But obviously, this is not for every project. This is not for every piece of content. We are smart about it, right? And that usually does the trick because that's the honest approach, and I think it leverages our skill when it comes to artificial intelligence in general and how it's supposed to be used on SEO and not only projects. So don't be afraid to say that you know something about AI. Right? I think that's a leverage rather than the opposite.
Yeah, totally. And can you give me some examples of how you are and your agency, how you are leveraging AI on a daily basis with your clients or with your own projects?
Well, I don't know everything for sure because my team is pretty independent and
Mhm.
they're coming up with new solutions. Mm, but let's start with the beginning. I think editing and reorganizing the content. So we are developing our own prompts pretty much on a regular basis to reorganize, edit, modify the content that we already have on clients and our sites. Sometimes when you have like 500 or 700 posts, you need to use AI to quickly reorganize the content. If you have a very good
Mhm.
prompt, then you have better content, basically, after this reorganization, right? And that's the one of the main uses right now. When we're starting a project, we usually try to edit, update the content that we already have, and AI allows us to do that at scale and in reasonable costing. We are also using our own prompts for new content creation. So we are creating prompts to give us an outline, and based on outline, we quite often generate content. It goes through the editing, human editing, the end. But Bart is over here and a few other tools, so maybe fact checking is going to be easier from now.
Mhm.
We'll see. But we need to have someone to do the fact checking and make sure the content is correct. But it's in most cases it's really correct and on point.
Yeah.
Very few cases when we need to redo it, and even if we do, it's very easy and we can quickly do
Yeah.
that. So all around content cases, but also generating videos for sites with prompts. We do that. Um, Adding the little things like captions to the videos and so on. So there are a couple tools like Descript, for example,
Yeah. I'm
which is
using that. Yeah. This is a cool one.
fabulous. It really does the trick. We were using a lot of Midjourney to generate
Mhm.
some unique images. Um, I know my team was using. I'm not sure which tool to be honest, but for structured data, for sure, and for little snippets in JS, for example, and other little things that we wanted to include in the content to make the content more usable. And this is another thing for content writers. Like content is not only text. In
Yeah.
case you don't know, it happens that people who write content don't really look beyond that. And it was always a trouble to find, to add a good table to the content, and other like rich elements to content. Now it's easier than ever because you can basically use ChatGPT to
Yeah.
generate those things for you, and you can have them in HTML. So you can, this is not going to be a screenshot. You can really have this into your content. Um, so I know my team is using that for many other things, like testing, and we have a one person that is basically dedicated at our little agency to keep digging and
Mhm.
finding how we can use it, because obviously to find a solution first is just the first step. Now you need to think, how do I scale that, how do I put it into the process, and that's the most difficult part, to be honest. But I think we'll find more and more, like if you really think about it, is the only limitation is our creativity at the moment.
Yeah. Totally. Yeah. Cool. Maybe I will ask you now, can you tell me more about your link building agency? Like, what's your approach? Do you build links like from all over the world? And like, tell me more about it.
Sure. So Husky Hamster is an international link building agency. um, we started working on the UK and the US market, gaining links, and we can get links for most of the niches on those markets, and those links are outreached for. So we don't go after those people who have write for us, advertise with us. If we
Uh-huh.
are running a dedicated campaign, um, and we have quite a few of those campaigns, so we're going after um, real popular websites, and we publish those links, whether that's insertion or new publication, depending on the type. And quite recently we have added a content marketing platform, so it's another option for marketers, agencies, freelancers, individuals, to log in on to our platform and see our relationships and pick the domain for the
Mm.
PR or marketing activities. Um, it's I think it's super cool because if you really want to have a publication on certain website, then you can pick that, and obviously does not require you to get into like a longer cooperation, longer contract. While outreaching takes a bit more time, so you need to stay with us for a bit longer to see effects and results of it. Um, our main markets, as I mentioned, US and the UK and other English speaking markets, but we went beyond that, and we are fully capable of building links in Germany, in Spain,
Mhm.
in Portuguese language. We are touching on Netherlands. We have plenty of connections in Poland already. So if anyone requires any publications in those countries, then we're happy to help. And we're pretty flexible, so we love to work with clients for longer. So we are fully capable to get on the project with someone who's running SEO, him or herself, and then just needs links, because obviously getting links this is difficult.
Yeah.
This is burden, right? God, like when you want to operate at scale, you need processes and you need a lot of tools. And if you're doing this by yourself, and we've been there, like when we're running a full SEO agency, we had an internal team for link building, and trust me, that was terrible. I mean, it was so unpredictable and so costly and so difficult to manage. So that's why when we started Husky Hamster, we started with what we know, put it into processes, put it into tools, our internal tools for outreaching, analysis, quality assurance. It's all happening within our system, and it allows us to keep our prices low and the quality up. um, because as Rad said, my co-founder the other day, we just wanted to build an agency that we always wanted to have, and we never found it. We never found
Uh-huh.
someone being flexible and open, and really providing quality that we were after. So yeah, this is what Husky Hamster is about, working with other SEOs mainly and marketing teams.
Okay, so let's say I have a website and I have never built links to it, and I see that this is definitely something I need to be doing. I sign up with you, and how does it work? How long does it take for you to build me the first link? Is it like paid on a monthly basis? How long do I have to stay to see the, like, I don't know how many, let's say 100 links?
100 links.
Yeah.
I love that project. Such large project. Obviously, when we're starting with the question, do, do you have link strategy?
Hmm. I don't.
Right. So let us do the link strategy for you. Why? Because if you don't have it, then you are risking a lot of money.
Uh huh.
Because you need to have a strategic approach, and I have a strategic approach to basically everything. And in SEO, data is everything. So we are measuring you against the competition first.
Hmm.
So we see what is the link gap, what kind of links are in this gap, where we can use your money to give you the biggest leverage. So we call it a link requirement plan, um, which takes a couple hours to do, has a lot of data. We're measuring against the competition, and you have exact anchors, or brand anchors and URLs that you need links for in order to improve your rankings. So this is like a mandatory thing. Otherwise, too risky.
Yeah. Okay.
So
So I give you like the list of URLs and keywords, topics I want to rank for.
you can.
Uh
That's going
huh.
to be very helpful, but you don't have to, because we have a plenty of data to see what you have potential for.
Okay.
So depending where you're coming from, but if you have business approach to business, then you can send us your goals. Like, hey, my goal is 100K traffic in a year, right? I have my team working in SEO. I have my content plan, and it would be great if you send us your content plan so we know how to plan for the future. Um, and then we put together this missing part, which is a link strategy. And then we're just building links, starting from outreaching, from the day one, basically. To get you 100 links really depends on the niche and what is your brand. Because if your brand is unknown, that's gonna
Let's
take
say
a bit
it's my
longer.
SEO blog.
SEO blog, yours is gonna
Yeah.
work like a charm, because it's great. It has great content. It has a great
Uh huh.
structure. It's recognizable. There you go. People would love that. People would love to mention you, mention your brand, your content, even with some exact anchor text. I think if you are caring for certain
Nice.
keywords to rank. Um, so in 100 links, depending on the strategy, but I think you might not need more than 10 to 15
Uh huh.
monthly. Obviously, the process is natural, so it can vary. It can be like 8 links 1 month
Yeah.
and 21 second month, because outreach wheels need a lot of time to start rolling at fast pace. But that what makes it very natural as well.
Yeah.
So we can agree, for example, okay, within 6 months you should get your 100 links, or within a year, depending of what you really need, because you can also overdo with links.
Yeah.
Um, Meaning that you might not get a penalty from Google, because I think that's a mystery and like myth that Google will give you penalty for for too many links, for example. I don't think that's going to happen, but there is a certain leverage you can do with links,
Yeah.
right?
And then
And
other factors kind of coming
yes, and then
into it.
other factors. So there's no point to, if you need 10, why 20?
Yeah.
Just let's keep it for longer, because that's natural. If your brand is popular, you put in good content on, then naturally you're getting links. So I
Mm-hmm.
think that kind of approach we can offer, and we can offer that to basically anyone is coming our way. Like, we really care for the success of those campaigns. That's why we also monitor those links. And what I mean by that is, we keep the links in our system to
Uh-huh.
see what for how long these links are live. If the publisher has changed from do follow to no follow, we
You'll
are
see
first to
that.
know, and we approach that, right? Because if we agreed to do follow, then let's keep it that way. If
Mm-hmm.
if the publisher has introduced 301 or some
Uh-huh.
kind of
Okay.
canonicals, right? We are first to know if you use the canonical on a different page, or 301 or 302, then we also know. So you don't need to worry about that. We approach those people for you. If the link is out of index, we are first to know. And even though that we cannot guarantee that the publication that we done for you is going to be indexed forever, it's just not possible. We are first to know, and we have tools try to improve the indexation status. Let's put it that way. So again, coming from the agency, having all these troubles with links at scale, we build the system that we are using for ourselves of strategizing link building, executing link building, and monitoring link building. So our clients, our partners, they don't have to worry about it too much.
Mm-hmm. Cool. And like, what's the price starting point?
On, a,
If
on,
you
a,
can,
on
if you can share it, of course.
Yeah, this is nothing I would hide from the public, really. When we are talking about the outreaching for you,
Mm-hmm.
the link is starting at $197, so nearly
Uh-huh.
$200. That's where it starts for a standard niche, which is not gambling, by the way. If you're outreaching for you, if my team does outreach for you, because we have two pricing options, I'll tell you about the second one in a second. But the
Mm-hmm.
first, we're doing this for you, and we are guaranteeing certain metrics like minimum 1K traffic, minimum DR 25 to 48 in this like a starting element, and we are charging, including the content, including the monitoring, $197,
Uh-huh.
and it goes up from there. It can go up to 317 for super quality links like DR 50 plus in difficult niches, which is CBD, any finance, insurance, for
SEO.
example. SEO, not really. It's easier than you think,
Uh-huh.
especially when you have a good content on your site. Uh, so SEO would be in the standard niche bracket.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so that's the gap, between links. I think it's affordable. I mean, understanding the costing that we had when we were running an agency, I think that's pretty affordable, and it's easy to scale.
Mm-hmm.
And on the other hand, we have the content platform, content marketing platform, where you have all the prices and most of the domains that you can choose from. So those domains are starting from $100. So if you need to power up your affiliate projects from, you just need a couple of links here and there. You can like just log in there, pick the domains, ask me a question, or my partners a question if you have any. If not, then few clicks and you are getting your links. Usually the delivery is within 3 to 5 weeks, depending on the publisher, really. Um, but that's what it is, like 5 weeks tops.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, cool.
Thanks. We're trying to, improve that as we go as well,
Uh-huh.
based on feedback we are getting, because the feedback is super important to us. And
Mm-hmm.
so far, the feedback has been great. Like people coming back to us, and I think what really does the trick is this kind of approach that, hey, we are SEOs.
Yeah.
We are not an agency that just gives you links. We are SEOs. So if you're doing something stupid, I will tell you, like, hey, we just don't think that's a good idea. But if you want it, that's okay. But we don't think that's a good idea. So yeah,
Yeah.
it might be a weird approach to business, but this is pure honesty. It's coming out of me. Like, hey, we want you to succeed, right? Because we want you for longer.
Uh-huh. Yeah, cool. And the other technical agency?
Well, this is something that we are building up as we go.
Uh-huh.
Um, it's smaller than Husky Hamster at the moment, uh, but we have a lot of experience in working with investors before.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, by investor, I mean person that wants to build a portfolio of content sites to generate profit or to flip them over in
Okay.
2 years. So we have like a 7 8 months ago partner up with few people in the buying selling business, online business niche, and we put together a dedicated team that caters for their needs. Basically, we are um, we are their team. Like if you are
Mm-hmm.
an investor and if you're looking for a team that is managed by someone who knows not just an SEO but also the affiliate marketing business and the ad revenue based business, can advise, improve your revenue streams, rank you higher, and be honest at the same time, probably we are your people. So this is not probably for everyone, not for very small sites, but if you have ambition and you are an investor in this particular niche like content sites, then we might be your team. And we have a couple of solutions here. Just maybe quickly,
Yeah, tell
what i
me.
found what I found that we're a very small team, so we are very flexible. I love that, to be honest. Like, this is kind of feeling like, hey, this is not working, let's do that differently. So this is what we do. And when we were seeing the revolution of the AI that started, let's put it that way, 2 years ago, but really exploded as a volcano, like somewhere back in November, um, we understood that no, you don't need a content writer for 5,000 words anymore. This is not what you need.
Yeah, totally.
So immediately I seized that. I said, like, no, we're not offering that. You need editor full time and a content specialist full time, maybe. And this is what we're doing. We kind of are renting our team for 3 6 9 to 12 months for investments.
Uh-huh.
Uh, and these content writers and editors are guided by us. So investor doesn't have to spend time explaining, I want this topic, I want this differently, I want structured data, or I want 3 4 images. No, this is on us, right? We know what is your ROI, potential ROI. We know when you want to take this particular project in a year or two. So we are giving you people, right? And you
Oh.
don't need to worry about hiring on Upwork someone unknown,
Yeah.
testing for several weeks or months, and then sometimes, not often, but sometimes also, face a disappointment. And I like to operate from the position of alternative costs when I'm explaining this to people. Like, hey, you're not ranking, it's not just it. You're not ranking has alternative cost to it because you didn't do anything else and you didn't make money on your own site, right? So you're
Yeah.
using double, right? So that's my approach to things, like very practical. And when
Yeah.
it comes to audits, like when we do the technical audit, we're straightforward with optimization. Like, hey, pay us for optimization, because what's the point of writing lengthy document if you're not going to
Yeah.
implement that yourself, or it's going to take 7 years to do that, right?
And then
So
after 7 years, the recommendations will be obsolete.
indeed, so we are like, let's just implement what we can. Obviously,
Mhm.
we're fully technical, let's put it that way. So we can implement SEO audits on most technologies, but obviously if you're running on Magento 2 and other angry systems, I like to put it that way,
Yeah.
then you might need your developer team to do that. But we are, we speak in technical, I like to say. So
Uh-huh.
if you
Yeah.
connect us with
Cool.
them, hey, that's going to be an easy peasy. If they know what they're doing, they will implement that straight away. If they don't know the system, but we provide full guidance on it for sure. So implementation is very often overlooked, and I like to say to
Yeah.
people that have investments in this, let's put it a content sites niche, hey, start with the foundation, right?
Yeah,
you know
totally.
you need to get your foundations right, and then the strategy is built on top of that, and then you execute the strategy. So like 3 steps are necessary, but without technical implementation, you might not be successful, or you'll be just partially successful. And again, the alternative cost of not implementing technical
Yeah. Yeah.
SEO might be super significant, and you might lower your ROI on other things that you do. So I think I'm
Yeah. And
sounding
you
like
paid for the
very
audit
strict,
already. Yeah.
but I kind of am. I think, with all that data, like, why not to use it? Why
Yeah.
not use the data to create a strategy?
Yeah, yeah, totally. I totally agree. Yeah. But like I often interview other SEOs who do audits, and so
Mhm.
far the majority of them, I think they said they don't offer implementation of the audits.
Because that's easy, I know.
To
And
be
it,
honest, I also offer this. I also do that. Not in all cases, but in many cases I
Mhm.
do that. And I felt that I am like in the minority of people because this is usually trouble.
It is
But
sometimes.
yeah, it's nice to see that there are other people thinking that way too.
Yes, because we're thinking about the ROI in general, like
Yeah.
what kind of return of this investment can our client or investors see in the future, and mm, implementation is crucial, and then you can build content and links.
Yeah, totally, totally. Okay, so a couple of final questions. So, what does your normal day look like? Like, how much do you work? How many hours you spend working? How many hours learning? Like, how much do you work in a week? This is usually fun to hear.
Well, I try to work a little bit less,
Uh huh.
but it's not easy.
Yeah, I know
um
the pain. Yeah.
yeah, well, my day usually starts early in the morning, um eh, between 6 and 7, um, and I always start my day with a coffee and a book,
Uh huh.
because
Cool.
I want to start, you know, with something which is not a screen,
Uh
like,
huh.
not looking through Instagram, or not looking through Ahrefs and my positions. I No, I mean, I need to
Totally.
start with the book, because that's the fuel for a day for me, right? And that's an hour or half an hour every
Mm-hmm.
morning that I spend on this. And and then, after that, I usually have a prepared list of what I need to do. I'm a paper person, by the way, so I have my list on a
Oh,
paper.
I don't know how to write anymore, like with my hand.
Okay. I'm probably a lot older than you, so I'm
I
coming from the
I
ancient
don't think
ancient age.
so. How old
Uh,
are you?
38.
Oh, so I'm 36. Not that older.
Okay, but you look a lot better than me, so.
That's
Uh,
cool.
and then I have my list, and I run through my list. I always use priorities like P1, P2, P3.
Uh-huh.
Try to navigate through my priorities. We use OKRs, objectives and key results, as a tool to propel our agencies and our teams.
Uh-huh.
So, also, every day before 1 o'clock, I'm looking through the OKRs again. What needs to be done? Whether the tracker has been updated or not. Sometimes poking people, because I'm the OKR guardian at our
Uh-huh.
agency. Uh, then I very often have calls, with some potential investors or current investors, or some fires happens.
Yeah.
So, I need to be, a firefighting team. Um, then, well, my day usually ends, again with the book or other type of
Mm.
reading. Um, and I must admit that I work, I think, too long because my day very often ends around 8 to 9 p.m.
Yeah, it's the same with me.
Okay.
Totally. I
It's good
start
that I'm
around
not the
the
one.
same time and then yeah.
Yeah. And I was trying to take Fridays off and half Fridays. It works sometimes.
It
But
works for
obviously,
some time and then it fails.
yeah, especially when you want to grow, you're ambitious and
Yeah,
the things are
like
happening.
like
But,
I
but
want to learn. I don't want to like sit and do nothing. Yeah.
well, sometimes, I mean, from psychological point of view, I think it's super important just to
Yeah.
sit on a couch and, just
Yeah, it
just look through
is.
the window. But then fear of missing out, and other things.
Exactly.
Uh, yeah, so it takes practice, I think. And but what I definitely changed in my life and my routine, because I also want to, perhaps should mention that I do some sports like squash, my favorite game. um, and I'm very often on bicycle when even midday.
Uh-huh.
I'm trying to find half an hour just to go on bicycle, just to refresh my mind. But what I changed in my weekly routine, uh, I mean, comparing to the past, is that I don't work weekends.
Oh.
Friday, yeah, Friday can be late, even like 9 p.m. But then I just close my computer. I don't want to
Oh.
hear anything. It's just, I think it comes with age again. Like I feel like it would be, I mean, too much. Like if I were to, I used to stay on, on points on topic for inside Saturday and then Sunday as well in the past, and I don't think I gained that much because of that. Because
Yeah,
when I
there
look
is
at the
something
past,
to it, definitely.
yeah, and then Monday was, it's still not perfect, but it used to be a traumatic for me. Like, hey, okay, it's Monday. Like everyone is rested, and yeah, I sat on this strategy, or I sat on this client, or I was putting together some content planning, right, entire Saturday or Sunday, while my friends were drinking, beer in a pub, and
But
like,
you're not you don't have a hangover, so
oh, that's a positive, yes, yeah. But I thought like maybe I just, I don't drink, but I, you know spend some
yeah.
time
Yeah, sure.
with my family, or whatever, to have a bit of a rest, and yeah, so far it's working. I spend very little to no time on weekends looking at
Mhm.
clients and looking at strategy, and I feel Mondays are better. I have a refreshed mind, and then starting Monday with the
Okay.
book, and carry through the day.
Cool. Cool. And the way I do it, I work on clients during the weekdays, and then I switch to my own projects during the weekends, and I feel there is a small change in what I do, so I don't feel that wiped out. So, Raf, where can people find you?
Well, I live on LinkedIn, so you can
Okay.
definitely find me on LinkedIn, Raf Chomsky. You can find our brands over there.
Okay.
I'm not on Facebook anymore. I try to stay away from that kind of distraction. So LinkedIn
Yeah.
is where I live. And if you want to have a conversation about your business, or just a chat, or maybe some ideas that we can brainstorm together, I'm very, very open to have a conversation.
Okay, cool, cool. So thank you so much for spending this time with me and sharing your experiences, your knowledge. It was a
Pleasure
fun
was mine.
conversation. Yeah. So thank you, thanks everyone, and see you in the next episode. Bye bye.
Thanks. Peace, everyone.